Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another Fence Post Chat with Small Farm Living here on Serenity Farm. This week I was going to talk to you a little bit about baby chicks. As you can tell, I have plenty of these lovely little fur balls around, and I love them dearly. This is one of my passions. I love to raise chickens. I love to educate chickens and help people gain interest in poultry. Now, one of the things, first off, when it comes to baby chicks, when you pick up chicks, whether it be from your local farm store, or whether it be from a hatchery or from another farm, like a lot of people do here, you'll need bedding, you'll need containment, you'll need heat source, feeders, waterers, things of that nature. There's several different types of feeders available. I'll get to that here in just a little bit. The first thing that you'll need, though, is containment. You need some way to contain these cute little energetic bundles of fur and fluff. But for me, depending on how many I'm getting, if I'm just getting a small batch of newborns, then I'll use like a 50-gallon tote. I have it modified for heat and for venting to make sure it doesn't get too hot. Now, when you have your containment, you will need bedding. A lot of people use wood chips. There's nothing wrong with that. I've seen people that have used puppy pads when they've just had a few chicks to start off with. What I use sawdust. Sawdust really helps absorb the odors, it helps absorb the moisture. It's really great to clean out. It's almost like cleaning kitty litter. It really makes it really nice and really convenient to clean out. And once then, you're going to need heat source. There's a couple different types of heat sources. You have the lamps like this, which I know I may catch some flack from some people, from viewers, but everybody's like, oh, fire, fire, it could be fire. Don't rely on the clamp. It's that simple. Do not rely on the clamp. Those clamps will slip off. Use a secondary way to hook it up that is more secure. Just my word of advice. Once again, this is what I do. This is what works for me. It may not work for you. I just hope that you take some of this information with a lot of the other information you have and figure out a plan that works for you. There's also the flat heaters, the flat radiant heaters. I use those as well. Once again, depending on the circumstances, depending on how many chicks I got, whether it's an emergency type situation that people are like, hey, I got some sick chicks, can you take them, medicate them, get them back up to going? Just really depends on the circumstance on what I use when. But say you've just got a few chicks. 50-gallon tote, cut a hole in the top for the lamp, or set a radiant heater in it. And put your bedding down in there, get a water and a feeder. Now there's, once again, a couple different types of feeders, a couple different types of waters. For starting out with just a few baby chicks, you can use something like this. This is a little starter feeder. And here's like one of my older starter waterers. Now, as they progress, you can go to different sizes, but that'll get you started on that. So when you first get your chicks, that's what you do. Keep them in a very climate-controlled area. Keep them in an area away from drafts, away from any cold snaps, things of that nature. And granted, here in Indiana, we've been dealing with a lot of crazy weather lately. It went from 65 to snowing. So we know all about the crazy weather. But try to keep them away from the drafts and a lot of the cold air. Because they are very susceptible to that, and you will lose chickens if they get in a draft for too long. Me, I'm one of them. I have a big enough home that I have a special area that I can keep some real small baby chicks in a particular area for a week or two until that they can be able to flourish out in the nursery. Another thing with baby chicks is, me personally, I like to keep things as natural as possible, but medicated chick starter is a great thing. I use medicated chick starter. It helps fight against cocci. First 4 weeks of a chicken's life is when it's very susceptible to coccidiosis. So I use the medicated chick starter, at least for the first 4 weeks. It really helps them get a great start. Another thing when it comes to baby chicks is the water. Don't use city water. Use bottled water if you have to. Use well water if you have the ability. But many people that I have talked to, when it comes to the city water, their chicks get sick off of it. Maybe it's the fluorine, I don't know, but there is something in it that does not work well with a lot of chickens. Once again, your experience may be different, but from people that have come to me, that is what we have determined as a root cause of some of the problems is the water. Now with the water, what I do is I fill up the container of water and I put apple cider vinegar with Mother's in it. You will put a teaspoon of ACV with Mother's per quart. Put that in there and that helps resolve any issues if they do have pasty bottom, or it'll help prevent them from getting pasty bottom. But I do that first 4 weeks of life, it works out wonders. And it really helps the little guys. Now, if you do have a little guy, little girl, whatever it may be, with pasty bottom, give it a soak in warm Epsom salt water. Take your little container, whatever you want to use, get the warm Epsom salt water in it, just put his little bum in there, it'll start softening up, fall off. Pat him dry, make sure he's good and warm and dry before you put him back with the rest of the group. That is really the quick version of what I do with baby chicks. There's so much more that goes into chick rearing, but this gives you a really quick synopsis of what I do with my baby chicks. And it gives you just a really good overlay of what you do to get started. If there's any questions, please feel free to write me. I will more than happily write you back and tell you what I do, give you any type of information that I can possibly give you in regards to chicken rearing. I hope this is helpful to some of you. I hope that you'll continue to subscribe, watch Small Farm Living. We are just getting started. We're just getting this whole system refined. There's so much more to come this year. We've got the garden planting, and we've got young baby goats, and we've got baby quail. We've got so much going on here at the farm that I am so excited to share with you. So look forward to you. Hopefully you'll learn something. I'm hoping I hear from some of you and I get to learn some more from you guys as well. And I look forward and we'll see you again next week.